We've been talking about it, the differences in men and women, and it's an issue of the divine. It's an issue of design, and there are things that are irrefutable that you have to learn how to deal with. Otherwise, you're at a disadvantage. I might as well just say that. People used to be aware of the divine differences between the sexes. It used to be sort of a common knowledge, but things I guess surmise have progressed to such a degree where I guess there could be a lot of ambiguity, especially among children, which is kind of weird. But hey, we're not talking about that. We're talking about men and women. People struggle with these things. Sex relations. Let's just call them sex relations. Sex relations have most certainly taken a hit in our society due to a number of different reasons, which are essentially warfare against life and against the Lord, honestly. It's straight up direct warfare. That's okay though. We can deal with it. We're all grown-ups here. You know what I'm saying? But there's been a lot of damage done between the sexes over the years because of what are they? I mean, I guess reactionary philosophies. I guess you could describe it as that are in reaction to invisible warfare. If you're not able to see it, you will not see it. And these are reactions, and these reactions to this warfare are oftentimes controlled due to movements and reactions being influential. It means the big names are controlled. That's all. Influence peddling? No. It doesn't happen like that. No. These things are controlled, and I found over the years, the competing philosophies or the reactionary philosophies that are in response to, let's say feminism. Let's say if you want to, well, I guess we have to use a word everyone can understand to some degree. Feminism. A lot of the movements, you can see by their fruit. You can see, I mean, need we even mention the fruit of the divisions between the sexes? Whether it be feminism or red pill. Remember those days? Red pill? Remember the red pill days? Women. I don't even know how to go into it without sounding crazy. Red pill. Men going their own way. Okay? That whole thing. To divide men from women. To divide women from men. And it's only up until recently where these things they've been out of vogue. We've been calling it from the rooftops from here for years, of course, because these things make me mad when people make money off of sabotaging impressionable people's lives. It honestly makes me mad. So we've been screaming about that for years, but I mean, what are we going to do about it? The men take these things and they do their own divisions. And I'm sure they're getting paid to sow these divisions and sow hatred between the sexes. It makes sense. Why wouldn't it make sense? What incentive is there to our society for people to get along? What incentive is there? There is no incentive. It doesn't work that way. Anyway, we don't want to get too wild. It's hard to see. It's hard to see men doing that to each other, but I guess they get a lot of money, and it's done a lot of good for sex relations. Okay, all the pornographic, you could consider it bathhouse sex and violence injected into the male psyche, I guess, as to what women want. I don't exactly know how to put this into words that aren't like stupid sounding. I'm just riding this one out, filling men's heads with notions of the benefits, the benefits of the mixture of violence and sex, and how women crave it. You know, that was part of the movement. Yeah, they like to be scared. You get a Jason mask on. You get a chainsaw. You know, there's lots and lots of damage. The danger and play movement, the leather gimp suit, the sweat and the danger, and the right wing. I mean, whatever you want to, just don't want to use the word grift. It's so rough. I don't know what to call it anymore. They all got in on it. The red pill, the sex and violence, the men going their own way, the women want to be abused. You have to abuse them. They go for the bad boys because they're actually just pieces of trash and they like to be abused and scared. That's what you're reading. That's what you're listening to. You're like, oh my God, the damage this will do should be something. The damage is absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. The danger, the sweat, the leather. My rabbi said, that's a bit sweaty and dangerous. That environment. But it's really done a lot to annihilate men and annihilate women. We all know why. You annihilate men, the women and children can be abused. That's all. You annihilate men through getting at the women. Or not even getting at the women, but coercing them to... You speak through women by coercion. By convincing them that there's suffering and reparations due. You know the whole game. I mean, what do you want to define that? Blah 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 blah. But the damage that it has done, and you can see the fruit of it, and you see the perpetrator. That's all. It's very easy to see. You check out the fruit. You look at what it has done, and it automatically points to those responsible. Weakened sex relations between men and women. You're conditioned to expect failure and all these things through TV and music and everything all your life. I mean, that's a whole other subject. Look at anything on TV. I mean, I know it's TV and I know it's comedy, but is it? If it's in color, there's a certain subconscious reality to it. You could name any TV show at all, and that they've been a disaster for sex relations and race relations and everything. Have there been any TV programs or movies that have done anything good for anybody? Anyone have a good example about anything at all? Other than, of course, the hardcore movies, Eugene O'Neill and such. Those are a different story. They are still, fiction or plays or art or whatever. There's a place for that, but there's nothing. Everything's going to teach you that it's a disaster. But just like the animal kingdom, I'll just use that as an example. And as a business relationship, because anything, if you want to guarantee success, or you want a way to guarantee success, has to be in an agreement or a contract or a pact, a business relationship. Doesn't matter if it's spiritual or emotional, whatever it is, it's a business relationship. It's a business relationship. It's a business thing. It's not just it's my life and you're the star of your own TV show or your own movie, reality. I don't know what is in direct opposition to that business cohesion. I don't know. But it's something to consider. There's duty and obligation. Responsibility. You see, those words get a bad rap. But when you apply those things to a business relationship, you end up making a lot more money. You apply those principles to a personal relationship, you end up making a lot more love. Okay? Something to consider. If you approach things in that way, I don't know how to describe it. I would consider that, though. Leadership is required in a business, isn't it? Is everyone going to make the decisions? Are people going to argue and scream at each other when there's differences or failure to communicate? Well, you see, in the regular home life, that's normal. The arguing, the screaming, the not getting along. I mean, generally speaking, people can relate to a lot of these things. And I don't have personal examples. I'm sure I can think of some. But generally speaking, there's leadership. Someone is a CEO of a business. Someone's a CEO of a house. Because at home, I guess, you're supposed to be insane and chaotic, I guess. I don't know. According to whatever. According to TV. You see how insane and chaotic life is at home? Well, that's your home. You can scream if you're feeling disrespected or something, or look, I don't have any good examples. You start screaming, you start freaking barfing everywhere. No, you see, that stuff doesn't happen in a business. You usually lose your job, or the business fails when things turn into that. Just like a marriage or just like a relationship fails if it's consumed with that energy. Direct opposition, ceaseless direct opposition. Truly the spirit of Lilith. Truly what it is, according to mythology. And I wouldn't say inherent in women. I wouldn't say that. I would say these archetypes, Jezebel or Lilith or whatever you want to call it, these are imprinted, these are projected, these are patterned, they're sent out, they're repeated. These things are implanted, they're inceptioned. That's just how these things work. That's how you do things like that, What I'm drawing is pretty silly. Looks like insanity. I was going to try to make notes, but it only turns into insane scribbling. You wouldn't tolerate bad behavior in a business relationship. You'd be less tolerant of it, I would put forth. You treat relationships in some ways like a business that you need to be the best you can be, okay? Let me just put it that way. It's a lot more inspiration at the board meeting to be the best you can be. But if you don't treat your home Not as a board meeting, but as a place where you can't just shut being your best self off. It's not a place to kick your shoes off and there goes the neighborhood. There we go. Now I'm coping with life. It's not about that. The business continues. The business continues at home. When are you not supposed to be fully representative of yourself and of your business? I would put those things forth. Not everything is about how you feel. Because how you feel is usually pretty self-indulgent. Probably dropping frames due to input lag. Generally speaking, the regular conditioning of people and their feelings is to be indulgent or taxing on other people. Do you know when you're taxing people? Do you know when your behavior or your attitude is taxing those around you? Do you know? Are you aware? Are you aware that that's possible? Are you aware that it happens without your knowing? Or when you become wise, you can see it and you stop it? Generally speaking, all these are important. I just don't have a name for it. I'm just winging it. There isn't very good training or education when it comes to relations at all. You just get TV and movies. No, it's a business. Life is a business. Life is a business. Mankind was my business. Mankind is a business. What you give and what you take in regards to energy, if it's not balanced, it becomes a failed business. It applies to business and it applies to marriages and relationships too. Not about money. I'm talking about the fortitude, the putting on your best face or best foot forward. I don't know what the idioms are, but that doesn't end when you get home. People don't usually see it that way. They see it as a different style. There's a different style of living, you know? But no. Leadership and discipline and fortitude and whatever other words you're going to put on a business resume. Those are required when you're in a relationship. Those business skills are very much required because a relationship isn't a business agreement. It's a pact. It's a deal. It's a marriage. It's a mortgage. I like to consider those things. It's not about domination. It's about making sure a business doesn't fail and is always improving and getting better and not going backwards. It's important to approach things in that way. Otherwise, you're subject to stagnation without knowing it. You gotta see how this works and how everything is tentacles, I guess you could say. These people that are given this influence and allegedly have millions of followers or this and that allegedly, they all tap into everything. They tap into the sex. They tap into the anti-feminism and the right-wing politics and the race stuff and the gender stuff. This too and that, and also with the memeing too. Now they're memeing this. I don't know what to call this meme, but just using a banned word. Now that it's less punishable, just come out with a banned word, yo, as a reply or a quote tweet reply. It's good. It gets huge hits. It's like they're covering the meme space in a bunch of different ways. They even cover the language that the youth use for fun or wish to use. Like all the bases are covered to influence the youth specifically. It's just interesting when you think about it. Well, this isn't all that complicated of a breakdown. I mean, I realize that, but it's not even a breakdown. Just generally speaking. Everyone seems to make a lot of money in these things. It's kind of weird. But it is shocking to see. I thought people understood astroturfing. AstroTurf? People familiar with astroturfing? Grassroots? Don't people remember these things anymore? This has been a long time ago. Everyone forgets about astroturfing when they have someone in their corner that is cool or they like or is in some way good. Everyone forgets about AstroTurf. I don't, though. I never forget about AstroTurf. How can you? Know what I'm saying? I just cannot believe what people fall for, but it is what it is. Been a lot of people that have done damage to men and damage to women, and you've seen the results of it as the years have gone by after this red pill own way movement, whatever you want to call it. What is it? 10 years? I don't know what it is. But now, look at the world now. Just because of that. Well, it's not just because of that. There's many different factors, but it's the way children are treated in public now is the direct result of men and women not getting along anymore. You want to know the truth? That's the truth. It's a direct result of men not getting along with women. That's why the children are treated like this, and even public, without any sort of interesting reaction, a traditional reaction. But I'm pretty intrigued about all that. And you see the results of the damage. But that's okay, because there's healing to be done. We've all learned some tricks along the way, haven't we? Veterans on the meme front, veterans on whatever front, comedy front, could be a sort of the home front, relationship front. And you really have to get all of the grifter stuff out of your heads. But there are some inherent truths to some of these things. Inherent truths are dressed up to be neutron bombs, socially. Really. It's incredible what it does. Absolutely incredible. But there is healing to be done, as we all picked up some tricks along the way, okay? And there might be the only truth that you can glean from any movement at all is that there are very inherent differences between men and women. What else is there to be said? This is common knowledge. Insanely inherent differences. It's so insane where you could be driven insane by it. The differences that there are. The insane differences. We're all familiar with them by now. That's the only truth that came out of any movement, is that men and women are very, very much different in absolutely every way. You know what I'm saying? That's like trigonometry. Big differences, and you learn over the years to treat a lot of things from a business standpoint in regards to obligation and responsibility and leadership. And it's no different in the home. These things are defined many years ago. Point to the Bible, you could point to anything at all. Anything at all. Anything at all. Anything. The animal kingdom, okay? I guess you could call it that. An extension of the animal kingdom or something. You know how I absolutely hate the animal kingdom. I despise it. That's okay, though. I'll be in the minority for this one for a little bit, until people realize how disgusting the wild is, and how it's worse than hell. How it's essentially hell for animals. And, you know, when you live enough years, you're absolutely disgusted by the pure Satanism of it. That's okay. That's okay. Animal kingdom's fallen, yeah. Even the plants. Even the plants would kill you if they could. The plants would kill you if they could. They try. They try. And if they could strangle you, or they could shoot a bullet into your head, they would. They absolutely would. And if animals could shoot you or set you on fire, they would. Nature is putrid and vile. An absolute shadow, a hell shadow of what it was designed to be. But that's okay. We don't have any, like I don't know what to call them. The grifter women, the inside girls. I don't know what to call them. It's kind of not the best using the G word. Probably something better. It's a bit spun. Guess it's always been like this. The trad movement. It's not even in Red Scare. Claudius, I don't know how to define that movement or reaction or whatever. I'm not exactly sure, but it's not. I see what you're saying. Just the injection of sex into politics, which is the appearance of the things that run your life or that dictate your trajectory. You know what I'm saying? Sex injection. Hey, I don't have any problem talking about sex injections. Really not at all. But there are just bad examples of the one with the dreads and then the whatever. There are just some bad examples because it's not all the women are exactly like that. Those are the hardcore examples. I don't know. I guess I just got to be more educated. I guess I'm trying to think of other examples, like other podcasts, and I'm like, oh man, I have the video. I see the video muted, and I just keep scrolling. I don't know what's going on. I'm like, just crap. But it can't be a new thing. It just can't be a new thing. But it's especially explicit these days. Especially explicit. And I guess people, the younger guys go along with it. They don't. How could they know any better? How could they know any better? Who's going to tell them? Who's going to tell them? It can't be a new thing. But it is new because of the mores are a little bit more skinful. A little bit more skinned. I'd say the mores of these days. Just short of inside. Pretty much. This thing draws a line. Just what happened to that whole movement? What happened to the whole movement of guys that rejected certain, let's say, promiscuity, and now now it's centered around it, where podcasts become essentially, pornography marketing. There's never a real movement. It's always built on something else. Never. Where is there a real movement? Does anybody know? Well, we're not looking for real movements. I don't know, man. From what I see, the very few favors being done right now with the hardcore sex injections into, I don't know, not even into politics, but into a driving influence of sex injections. It's really, when you think of it long term, just like with the red pill, you think of 8 years or 10 years from now, like you can't even imagine. It's enough to make your blood go cold when you think about it. That's what I have to say on the subject. What do you think about that?